What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for Serie A Week 6 predictions, and it is the league where we get the most perfect scores. In Week 5's episode, I said that it was the only league that we didn't get a perfect score from out of Champions League, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A and Bundesliga last week. But we came back with a vengeance, and we came back with two perfect scores from last game week. Inter Milan to beat Cagliari 2-0, and Roma to win 2-0 as well, despite only winning 1-0 up to this point in the season. So we predicted Roma's first over 1.5 goal game, and we predicted it absolutely spot on. So logic suggests, as I say every week in Serie A, we will get at least one correct score in this episode. So make sure you stick around for that. Real quick, flashing up on the screen are all of the people that are supporting me over on the Patreon. If you want access to exclusive members tips and accumulators, as well as a shout out in every single video and direct messaging access to me, advice and everything like that, then be sure to click that top link in the description. But we move on, as I said, to Serie A. I just want to say real quick, thank you for all the support on the channel. We had Bundesliga yesterday. Champions League predictions went up on Monday, and you guys absolutely loved that video. I'm recording this before the Champions League kicks off, but I know that we've gone up 300 subscribers in the last day since I posted that video. So I sincerely appreciate it. I might say in my Premier League video, I might announce that I will officially add Europa League video predictions like the Champions League to the channel when we reach 40,000 subscribers, because Serie A, La Liga and Bundesliga, that was a thank you for 30,000 subscribers. So I might, if that's something you'd be interested in, do Europa League for 40,000. So the sooner we hit it, the sooner I do it. You never know. I'm not guaranteeing that, but it is a possibility. But yes, as I said last week, we had Inter Milan to win 2-0 and Roma to win 2-0 as well, amongst other very, very good tips. But we kick it off this week with Verona up against Sassuolo. We also had Sassuolo to win and both teams to score over on the Patreon at odds of 5.5. I thought that was really good, and they beat Udinese 3-1. Verona winless this season. Sassuolo picking up 6 points with 3 losses thrown in there. I think this is going to be another draw. Verona love a draw. 1-1 Juventus, 0-0 Cremonese, 1-1 Udinese. I think it's going to be 1-1 again after their loss to Roma 2-0 that we predicted. So I'm going to go for the 1-1. The tip is going to be my highest odds tip of the video. It's both teams to score and under 3.5 goals at odds of 3.1. I could see this going 2-1 either way, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. After this, it's Lazio up against Torino. Last episode, we predicted Lazio to win 2-0. I tipped that over on the Patreon as well, and we finally can trust them. They beat Genoa 3-0. A very early goal set the precedent for that game, and Torino losing out to Parma. We did have Parma beating Torino by 1 goal last week as well. I think Lazio win back-to-back games in the Serie A for the first time this season, 2-0, and I think the odds are good enough. I'm going to go for Lazio to win at 1.7. After this, it is Parma up against Lecce. Like I said, I predicted Parma to get their first win of the season against Torino by 1 goal. Lecce got a draw against Bologna. That is something I did not see coming. That was probably my one bad prediction of last week's episode. And, you know, there's always one here and there, but Lecce getting a point against Bologna, that is a little bit of a shock. And I don't think lightning strikes twice here. I'm going to go for Parma to win again. I'm going to go 1-0, and the tip is Parma to win at 1.8. After this, we have Inter Milan against undefeated Cremonese. Now, they beat AC Milan on the opening day, which is phenomenal. They beat Sassuolo as well, and they've since had 3 draws, scoring 1 goal in the last 3 games. I actually think they will score again. I got a funny feeling they're going to score a goal, but Inter Milan, they're going to win this one. Inter Milan play Slavia Prague in the Champions League. I think that'll be a simple little 2-0. I thought about 2-0 here, but I'm going to give Cremonese a goal. I'm going to say 3-1. And in case it's 3-0, my tip is going to be Inter Milan and over 2.5 goals. Odds of 1.61. That's a massive increase from the 1.22 here, because I'm not as confident. Whereas in the other game weeks where I got the perfect tip of Inter Milan and under 3.5, I think this under 3.5. This could go over 2.5, and I don't want to flirt that close with the 3-4 goal line. So I'm going to say Inter Milan and over, but I wasn't brave enough to say Inter Milan to win and both teams to score. As I said, Cremonese only scoring 1 goal in their last 3 games. So yeah, Inter Milan to win 3-1. After this, it's Atalanta up against Como. Atalanta, by the time you're watching this, will have played Club Brugge in the Champions League. I'm hoping they can get a win for their sake. They are still undefeated this season in Serie A. 2 wins against Torino and Lecce, and draws against Juve, Parma and Pisa. So not great results, other than, I guess you could say, that draw against Juventus. And Como lost 1 game to Bologna, but other than that, undefeated as well. I think Atalanta win this one. I'm going to say 2-1. The odds think it's going to be, you know, not a sure thing for Atalanta to win. And I don't know if I agree on that. I think Atalanta will win this one quite comfortably, but my tip, however, is going to be both teams to score at 1.66. I wasn't quite brave enough. I think if the odds were a bit higher, 2.34, maybe I'd go Atalanta to win. You could look at Atalanta double chance and both teams to score, just to add value to the both teams to score, probably bring it to about evens. So either way, I think Atalanta do get a win against Como here in this one. After this, it's Udinese up against Cagliari. This game has 1-1 written all over it, as far as I'm concerned. I don't see where else we go. Cagliari losing to Inter, but they beat Lecce and Parma, both teams that you'd expect them to beat. Udinese lost to Sassuolo and AC Milan. I didn't think they'd get beaten 3-1. I thought it'd be 2-1, but they beat Pisa, beat Inter, which is a great result, and drew with Verona. I think this one, it's just got draw written all over it for me. I'm going to say 1-1. And again, the tip, like the first one, is going to be both teams to score and under 3.5 goals, this time at only odds of 3, because it is deemed more likely to be a lower scoring game than Verona and Sassuolo. After this, it is Bologna up against Pisa. Now, Pisa got a great draw against Atalanta there, and they got a draw against Fiorentina there, which I also wasn't expecting, and Bologna really surprised me dropping points against Lecce here. So I think this is coming at a good time for Bologna to bounce back at home against Pisa. I'm going to go 2-0, and I really like the odds. I don't know why they're this high. Bologna to win at 1.6 is going to be the tip, because that's too high in my opinion. I just think Bologna will win this one, so I'm going to go Bologna 2-0. After this, it's Fiorentina up against the ever increasingly reliable Roma. Roma losing to Torino 1-0 here, but winning 1-0 either side, and then winning 2-0 as we predicted there. Fiorentina drawing to Pisa winless this season. Roma in better form, but the odds here are absolutely massive. I'm going to go back to old ways. Another 1-0. 1-0 to Roma. The tip, though, I wasn't brave enough to go Roma to win. I've gone with Roma double chance and under 3.5 goals at odds of 1.7. That is absolutely insane. I mean, you look at all of these, other than the 3-1 loss Fiorentina had to Napoli, and obviously Roma's 1-0 loss to Torino, the team that Fiorentina are playing, / when Roma are playing, not to lose and under 3.5 goals has happened in every game. And I think it happens here. I'm very surprised the odds are as high as 1.7. Speaking of surprised that the odds are high, we have Napoli up against Genoa. Napoli, one of the best teams in the league so far. They lost out to AC Milan, but don't let it fool you. AC Milan also had a red card, and Napoli they did take advantage of that. They won the XG battle by nearly 2. They were absolutely battering them. I don't know how they didn't at least get a draw. I think that flatters AC Milan, but Napoli still essentially top of the league, tied with Milan. Genoa winless. 2 points on the board. Napoli win this one at a canter. I'm going to say 3-0. But the odds here, Napoli -1 handicap at 2.5. This looks like 2-0 to me, to be honest, but I'm going to go 3 just because of how much better Napoli are. I think Napoli -1 at 2.50 is like my flash for like value tip. I haven't done that since I said Barcelona to beat Newcastle, and they did above evens. I think Napoli -1 handicap at 2.5 is phenomenal. This could easily be 1-0 halftime, 2-0 full time. I'm going to go 3-0 as I said, but Napoli -1 at 2.5, I think the odds are really good, and I think you'd miss out if you don't go for that. Final game, it is game of the week. It's Juventus up against AC Milan. Now Juventus, they're becoming a bit drawy. Juventus rearing its ugly head again, drawing in the Champions League, drawing against Verona, drawing against Atalanta. AC Milan, after that shock loss to Cremonese, faultless, winning all their games, including that win against Napoli. But Udinese, Bologna and Lecce, not the greatest run of games, is it? I'm going to go for home form. Juventus are slight favourites. This is pure home form bias. I think this could very easily be a score draw. This could be a 1-1. So with that being said, my tip is going to be both teams to score at 1.8. But I want to pick a winner, and I'm going to go for the team that is undefeated this season and playing at home. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Juve. But there's a summary of my picks. What a game of Italian football we have, particularly with that final game between Juventus and AC Milan. I would argue the biggest two clubs in Italy. Inter Milan, I'm sure, will probably have something to say about that. And Inter, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you had to pick the biggest two clubs in Italy. Because if you had to pick the biggest three, it would be Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter Milan. Who'd you put in the top two? It's got to be Juventus. I feel like it is Juve and AC Milan, but that feels harsh on Inter. Either way, it's a phenomenal game, and I'm really excited to see who comes out on top. Those are my picks. Lower scoring, as always, in Serie A. If I had to pick my favourite to be a correct score prediction, I'd probably look towards the 2-0 predictions between Lazio and Torino and Bologna and Pisa. I think those are probably most likely to be the correct scores, but you never know. Either way, that is going to do it from me. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. We've got La Liga in the channel, on the channel in 2 hours, and then Premier League predictions tomorrow before another international break. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.